15.1 Competitive factor markets. Virtually all firms rely on factor markets for at least some inputs. The firms that buy factors may be competitive price takers or non competitive price setters, such as a monopsony firm. Competitive, monopolistically competitive, oligopolistic, and monopolistic firms sell factors. In this section, we examine factor markets in which firms that buy and sell are competitive price takers. In section 15.2, we consider non-competitive factor markets. Factor markets are competitive when there are many small sellers and buyers. Flora Holland's Chapter 8, Daily Flower Auction in Amsterdam typifies such a competitive market with many sellers and buyers. These sellers supply inputs, flowers in bulk to buyers who sell outputs, trim flowers in vases, and wrapped bouquets at retail to final customers. Our earlier analysis of the competitive supply curve applies to factor markets. Chapter 5 derives the supply curve of labor by examining how individuals' choices between labor and leisure depend on tastes and the wage rate. Chapter 8 determines the competitive supply curves of firms in general, including those that produce factors for other firms. Given that we know the supply curve, once we determine the factor's demand curve, we can analyze a competitive factor. A firm chooses inputs so as to maximize its profit. We illustrate this decision for a firm that combines capital L, labor, and capital K, capital, to produce output Q, where its production function is Q equals Q of labor and capital, superscript 1, which reads: in chapters 6 and 7, we wrote the production function as Q equals F of labor and capital. Here, for notational simplicity, we write the function as Q of labor and capital. Using the theory of the firm, chapters 6 and 7, we show how the amount of each input that the firm demands depends on the prices of the factors and the price of the final output. We begin by considering the firm's short-run problem when the firm can adjust only labor because capital is fixed. We then examine his long-run problem when both inputs are variable.